David, this is fantastic. Thank you for inviting me here. Stoked to be at SoFi Stadium with you.
It's a gift from God, and I'm blessed to be here. And it was my last big risk, taking a 10-year lease as an anchor tenant at SoFi. But I learned my lessons, and it's paid off. So thank you for being here, and it's a testament of redemption.
Yeah. Awesome. What was your strategy behind making a move on SoFi Stadium? That's a big one. It is a bold one.
It was pre-design. I mean, literally before the model was done, I committed to a 10-year lease with a year payment up front. And for me, it was understanding timing and risk tolerance. So I used to take big chances without doing the appropriate analysis. And I also trusted everyone but didn't vet. And so I was very confident as I have evolved from my bankruptcy to understand timing and risk tolerance and really vetting to align what I was agreeing to my timing and risk tolerance. And everything in a year-long process of vetting this deal was aligned with my timing and risk tolerance. And although it seemed like a huge risk, after doing the appropriate analysis, research, and vetting of the people involved, the companies involved, and the amount of dollars involved, I knew that at worst I was going to be disappointed if it didn't work out, but I wouldn't have guilt, resentment, offense, felt as if I was cheated, lied to, or manipulated.
And you took a year worth of due diligence to figure that out.
Yeah, luckily I had it because I got presented the opportunity because of who I was and what I was becoming.
I was going to ask you if it was your becoming, like, was it your sports background or who you are now, or both?
It was the credibility of my sports background at the highest level, but it was who I was becoming. I had already interviewed with Jerry and Steve Jones. I had known and coached some of the executives on the Hollywood Park and SoFi staff with legends as well. So, you know, what we're becoming is such an essential part, but you also have to live with your past, the snapshots of your past. And I would say the most frustrating thing for me is that, like everyone else, but, you know, I have snapshots of my past when I was young with my own siblings that no matter what I say, what I do, what I think, what I feel, or what I believe, all they see is, you know, the older brother that sat on top of their chest and spit on them or whatever else dumb stuff I did, or the lying, manipulating, and cheating that, you know, people in my young 20s witnessed me as more desperate than I should have been, or scarce than I should have been. But I've really worked on, you know, my genetic and energetic inheritance, and I'm very happy with who I am today. And I spend minutes and moments outside of who I am.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm going to get back to the I am here in a second. It's obvious to me, and you talk about your past a lot, and I love it for a few reasons, but just being in your presence, for people who pick up on that, your energy is very light, right? Which means well, you say that, but I can feel it. It's like you're a life bringer, a joy to be around. But it sounds like you weren't always that way, right? And I've heard you talk a lot about your past, and I love it because I think most successful people, not all of them, have a second act, or they go through a early failure that leads
quantum shift.
Yeah, it goes through to their life's work. But the lessons you win aren't just for you. Right now, all the crap you went through to get to this point, you're now getting to teach, looks like, millions of people how to shift so they don't have to go through what you went through.
Or spend less time going through it, right? I think everyone has to learn.
To a certain degree.
Yeah, they do. And what degree, you know, but it's interesting because the way this all started was I was flying to India in my scarce closed-mindedness, and the woman next to me said to me, "You are so full of light, but you're blocking it." And I just stopped interfering. Like, my whole paradigm shift is...
When was that in the scope of your...
So this was about a year before I was bankrupt, a year after my wife threatened to leave me and set me on a journey to take stock in who I was and what I wanted to become. My wife, extremely spiritual. My, you know, family, my best friend, all would indicate to me I was lost. and my ignorant arrogance would tell them, I'm lost. Do you know how much money I make? This was in my mind always my answer. Like my mom would try to teach me the unconditional love that was within her and all that she had given to so many other people. And I would think immediately, you made $17,000 a year. I've made that in less than an hour. Like this comparative and quantitative analysis of worth by how much money people made was completely interfering with my potential.
Where did that come from?
Growing up poor, my dad leaving me, being abused as a 9-year-old, very competitive. I have to get more. I was going to be more healthy, more happy, more wealthy, and more worthy than anyone I was going to meet. And I was going to make it happen. And unfortunately and fortunately, I was blessed to be successful at a very young age, which was great because I was able to buy my mom a house and change my life and trajectory. But it also had a huge problem, which was I saw it as a confirmation that I was right. That money did buy happiness, that I was in control of everything. I remember when my wife threatened to leave me, putting my arms out, I was pretty wasted, but putting my arms out and going, who do you think did all of this? How dare you tell me you're not happy? That's almost verbatim as far as I remember. But I do remember this and saying, who do you think made all this happen? You're not great. Like something, that second line, but I think it was close to how dare you tell me, you're not happy and you're leaving me.
And how does
great and about powerful Oz, right? She replied with "F you," right? You better take stock in who you are and who you were and what you want to become, because I'm not going to wait to watch you die. She was convinced of it.
What do you think of the saying, "Money doesn't change you; it exposes what you are"?
So I love that saying. I take a different perspective. I think there's some elements of it's an amplifier. And the reason I believe it's an amplifier is the reason I think that money's so important is that money does not buy you things. Money allows you to shop.
Opportunity.
And if you shop for the right things for the right reasons, it'll provide you great joy. Great happiness, great fulfillment. It even will enhance or amplify your passion. It'll amplify the positive thing that or reason or purpose that you have placed upon this energy called money. You see, the one thing when you say that amplification of who you are, it's really more to the aspect that money is energy. And so I study energy. I study physics, quantum physics, and metaphysics. And there's 3 key characteristics that I think are so important that are applicable to the energy of money and your energy that is manifested as behavior. So we actually, energy in motion is called behavior. And so behavior is an energy. And so if you realize the 3 characteristics that really benefit you with energy are that energy aggregates more of it. It also accelerates.
100%.
And then it also compounds on itself. Like the rule of 72 is so applicable to almost everything, not just compounding of interest. It's compounding of energy. That's why Einstein, not some economist, came up with the rule of 72. Right? It wasn't Warren Buffett.
I don't think I realized that was Einstein that came up with the rule of 72.
Yeah, it's Einstein's rule of 72. And so when you look at this amplifier of who you are, of course it is, because your energy, money's energy, your behavior is the energy in motion called emotion, which is behavior. Good behavior is only defined by alignment with where you want to be or better. Bad behavior is only defined by not aligned with where you want to be or better.
Your blueprint.
Exactly. And the result, the instantaneous result of good behavior is good progress. Instantaneous result of bad behavior is bad progress. Therefore, when you kind of understand this within the context of something like money, you can realize why I was so effed up. Because my aggregation, acceleration, and compounding of money combined with my behavior was destined to spiral to zero.
Because your story and belief about self expressed through money only accentuated the whole.
Because I didn't realize I was always worried about what other people thought I was, or what I wanted other people to think I was, or what I was missing, or what I didn't have. And then I got more of that, and I resented it. And then I ended up resenting myself, which is called self-loathing, which then leads to not feeling worthy, which creates imposter syndrome, which creates projection of insecurity, which creates basically more interference of your light or the source that we have.
Do you think, it's beautifully said, do you think that it was the process of achievement that led you to discover that it wasn't the answer, though? Like it was an important, like you reference it in such a beautiful, transparent way. And I listen to that and I go, that seems like that was really important for you to recognize money wasn't the answer. Because had you stayed poor and struggled, you could have put all of your energy into trying to become wealthy, believing that was the answer. And to me, how tragic would it be if you got to your 60s or your 70s and finally achieved the money game then and then realized, oh my God, this wasn't it.
How lucky am I? I told my wife that as well. I said, imagine how lucky I am that this happened to me when I was 38 years old.
And not 78 years old.
Not 78 years old. I think of people that were, aligned with Madoff and they had no time. They were so scarce that they, like I, didn't vet it because they were blind to think all I wanted was the return, and it must, such a big return. And, they have to take accountability. Accountability has three things that all lead to learning. And learning is what life's about. Life's about lessons, and they keep on coming till you learn them. I tell people all the time, when you have the solution, there's no problem, right? I used to steal the teacher's guide.
Yep.
I had no problems on the math test.
It was super easy.
I had all the solutions.
Problem?
Exactly. So that's what life's about. But we
100%.
take, this combination of gratitude, empathy, and accountability. Gratitude is your ability to find the light, the love, and the lessons in everything. Meaning that you're going to learn to find find enjoyment in what you don't like or what you don't love. You're going to learn to find enjoyment in what other people don't like or what they don't love. And if you do that consistently every day, persistently without quit, life's going to give you all its solutions. It's going to give you the cheat codes. It's going to give you the teacher's guide. And life becomes easy, not dis-easy. And then if you learn to forgive yourself to shorten the amount of time or distance of resistance that you've created by not knowing the lessons or finding the cheat codes by having gratitude, then we utilize accountability by saying, what did I do? Mm-hmm. Not my wife, not my dad, not my mom, not the person who abused me, cheated me, manipulated, lied to me. But what did I do to attract this to myself, to be responsible for it, or even participate in a perception? And most importantly, through gratitude and forgiveness, what am I supposed to learn from it? And once I learn from it, I now have opened up the teacher's guide again and 100%. Said, oh, there's the solution.
Yeah.
It's easy.
That's, for me, I talk about the shift of consciousness from life is happening to me to life is happening for me. What is life trying to teach me? It goes beyond that, but just that jump to me, for me, by me, with me,
this
through
is
me.
Energy.
Yeah.
So life happens to me, I'm a victim.
Yep.
Life happens for me, it's an optimist who has scarcity of competition, negotiation, trade, even giving to receive. Where life gets really interesting is where I want to take everyone, including you, Sabastian. Life comes through me.
Yes.
Right. So
that's a hell of a jump for most people.
Right? Because here's the math of life comes through me. So life happens to me. That means I'm going to hold on to everything because it's completely not
Scarcity.
Enough. There's not enough. If I give this away, I'm going to not eat.
Yes.
I'm going to die.
Yes.
Then you get into a period like me where you have stuff and you say life happens for me. And now you trick yourself into abundance thinking, well, the more I give, the more I'll receive. It's still a trade or a negotiation and an expectation of receiving something back. When we can help other people transform, or I say expand, because everything is expanding, it's the more I give, the more I'm given. I'm going to elevate my awareness to all that I'm given. Now I'm worthy. The more I'm given, the more I'll receive. And even furthermore, the more I receive, the more I'll ask for. And now I give more, I'm given more, I receive more, I ask for more and end up with more than more. Now I give more than more, I'm given more than more, receive more than more. Now I ask for more than more than more. So instead of living in the zero-sum game of everything happens for me, if it's happening through me with confidence, faith, and confirmation that there's more than enough of everything for everyone, guess where I end up when I'm 80? Not with nothing.
Right.
With everything.
Yes.
For everyone.
And everything that matters anyway.
For everyone.
Yeah. Beautiful. For everyone. Yeah. So the jump to through me, and I would describe that as co-creation, right?
Correct.
You're surrendering into and co-creating in the world. That's a big jump for a lot of people. So how do we get from to me to for me? A lot of my messaging and content is just getting people to jump from to me to for me.
Which is a big jump too.
Because it's a big one, right? It's like if you can get the crack of light, because as long as you're in life is happening to me, you're stuck. Very hard to help the person that's stuck there. Once we get to for me, now we're at least looking around, right? Like, hey, like how do I respond to this? How do I?
Like I said, there's an optimism there.
An optimism. So then for me, the next jump would be life is happening by me. Now you generally go back in and think, I am the creator, right? Which is an important step, I think, too. And there's an old saying, everybody's writing their own story. It's just generally successful people are the only people that are willing to admit it, which is the kind of by me crew. So how do you jump to through me?
Yeah. Faith.
Okay.
So wisdom will take you from to for to by. Wisdom is created by the lessons that we've learned, by mentorship, by books, podcasts, reading, experiences, etc. But there's only one way you can get to through me, is that if by me I am a creator, it takes faith of the unknown that there is an omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing source, religious, philosophical, theoretical, spiritual source, whatever you want to define it as. I don't like to define things. I don't like labels. I believe they're for shampoos, not for source. But if you like it and dig it, that's cool by me. But I believe in something bigger than me.
Yeah.
An omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing, abundant, infinite, unified system of everything for everyone that loves me, protects me, and promotes me, even though I don't have the capability of understanding or knowing when it's happening. And so as I create good behaviors aligned with where I think I want to be or better, and I create good progress, which is aligned with where I think I want to be or better, shit's going to happen that I don't understand or know.
Yes.
And instead of thinking it's happening by me or for me or to me, I have faith in the infinite, abundant, unified system that protects, promotes, and loves me. Therefore, it's coming through me because there's more than enough of it. So the only thing that's going to benefit someone in the perspective of through with faith is that I need to empty my vessel to fill it up with more.
Yes.
Because there's more than enough of everything for everyone.
Yes. Beautiful. So how does one cultivate their faith?
I love that. So I believe the only way we cultivate anything, or the only way we expand anything, or the only way we get better at anything is through the conscious continuum, which requires one thing, and it's called practice. The conscious continuum, which starts with the cellular memory that we have, we need to practice that every day. That then relates to the 40,000 of the same thoughts that we have stored genetically and energetically in our subconscious, which creates these automatic results, automatic behaviors called neural pathways, which speak to the epigenetic layer of our genetic and energetic inheritance, which activates who our essence that 100%. We want to be or could become. And so if we don't utilize practice, then we're not going to effectuate any expansion, any growth, any understanding, any capability. And it's just the conscious continuum requirement, which is called practice.
Okay. So for our listeners, give us a practical guide to practicing faith. What are a few things that people can do to strengthen that muscle?
So for me, it's 5 daily practices. And I believe daily is important because that's how the cellular memory works. It's really stupid. It only has 24 hours of memory. And I also believe that
circadian rhythm.
Yeah. And I also believe that we're guaranteed 24 hours a day. Except for the last day of our life, we'll be cheated a couple hours. If you're lucky, more than a couple if you're not as lucky as me. But more importantly, in this just simple concept of 24 hours, you need to ask yourself, what is it I want today? Personally, experientially, giving and receiving wise, who can I help and who can help me? How best can I be productive, accessible, and gracious with my time, the activities I planned, unplanned, paid for, unpaid for, and sleep? And then I know what's important to me.
Yes.
Therefore, because I know my what, my who, and my how, I can prioritize my now, notating that 100% of the things I do now get done, And if I know what I want to do now and next, I'm going to be efficient, effective, and statistically successful in the expansion, growth, acceleration, aggregation, and compounding of my behaviors to allow me to apply my why, not search for it. You see, in the confirmation of faith, I am part and parcel and unified with an abundant, infinite source. Therefore, I want to apply it. So instead of trying to get more with the what, who, how, and now, and try to get more happy, more healthy, more wealthy, and more worthy, I'm simply trying to see how I am interfering with my source. Yes. So this is faith in its definition. Now, even at a more pragmatic level, we don't even have to worry about what we're afraid of anymore. Because under the concept of applying our why, what I really want to understand is how much time am I reacting to fear out of my 24 hours? And I'm looking for the clues of the reaction, the patterns of reaction to allow me to make better choices. In other words, to make and spend less time in interference or reaction to fear. So for example, I was sexually assaulted when I was 9 as a little boy. I'm afraid of a lot of things still today at 56. I go to therapy. It takes a lot of money and time to figure this shit out. But I'll tell you what doesn't take a lot of time to figure out: when I'm pissed, when I'm offended, when I'm guilty, when I'm resentful, when I'm anxious, when I'm frustrated. And guess what? It doesn't really matter what I'm afraid of, because that happened to me when I was 9, or my dad left when I was 5, or some other past life that, I may have got my legs cut off or canceled, whatever it is. But you know what does matter during my day under faith? And this is a very pragmatic way to look at faith. You know what does matter is if I'm pissed, that's interfering with my faith, that I'm part of an omniscient, all-powerful. I'm blocking my energy, my light. So for me, all I care about is, I'm pissed. I know that instantly. I'm going to spend less time being pissed and get back to center, to ease, to God, to source, to Muhammad, to Jesus, to Buddha, to the light, the love, and the light. I'm getting back on track
as fast as you can.
And I'm 56 years old. I have more energy and more light than most people you'll ever meet. Not everyone, but most people. You know why? Because I don't waste my time interfering with my light, with my energy.
Yeah.
We all have the same energy.
Beautifully said. I say this as an illustration. It's going to sound kind of weird, I guess, but electricity only kills us because we are an imperfect conduit. If we remove all the impurities, it would move through us.
Because we'd be water and space.
And we'd be a pure conduit, right?
Yeah.
To me, that's light and love. We don't have to go search for it. We simply have to remove whatever we have valued more than it, or whatever obstacles we have put in the way from experiencing it, right? And so one of my questions I ask my coaching clients all the time is, what are you valuing most, or what were you valuing most when you made this decision? What were your eyes on, right? And the question I asked, you brought it up earlier.
Another way to say that is, for the sake of what?
Right. Well, that's what you're getting to, is like, and what was it that you were solving for? Because that will get you back. And I used to be more motivated to take people back to their past to figure that out. But you touched on this. It's like, it's not necessary. Right. It's not. And sometimes people will get back there and then they'll camp there and they'll use that as their explanation. And it actually gets them more stuck because their identity is energized by their story or their negative experience. When really all we have to ask is, how am I complicit in creating the reality I say I don't want in this moment? Yep. And then in that moment, change. So this is powerful. Yeah. So when did you kind of come to these realizations? This seems like your mid-30s were a pretty tumultuous time for you. So I'm going to guess this stuff wasn't hitting you hard early in life.
No, the journey started at 38. I'm 56.
And did you go see a guru in India? Was that what you were doing there? Or?
I didn't go see the guru. I got tricked into learning meditation out of theta understanding, awareness. So the doctor next to me said, you can only be aware of that which vibrates equal to or less than you.
Yeah.
And said the earth vibrates the slowest.
You're saying that so fast, but people need to hear that. I'll say it one more time.
You can only be aware of that which vibrates equal or less than you. And then she said, the table vibrates, the minerals vibrate slowest, then plants, animals, humans, then sound, then light, and then thought. Then she changed my life. And she said, you know what vibrates the fastest? And I said, no, with an attitude. And she said, the truth. The truth vibrates the fastest. I can teach you through meditation to elevate your awareness, your vibration, your frequency, to understand the truth, the ease, the light, the love, and the lessons faster. She said, would you like to come learn that from me? And I said, no, I don't have time. Why would I? I'm rich.
Oh, my God.
I did.
You were a tough nut.
Yeah, but she's smarter than me because she was more aware. And she said, that's too bad because I could teach you to be aware of one thing that would be more valuable than anything else in your perceived life. And I said, what is that? She said, through awareness and meditation, I could teach you to learn when to buy or when to sell.
And she knew
And
how
I
to
said,
get you.
I want to learn how to meditate.
Okay.
I was so
that's practical.
so not aligned with meditation that I swear that my wife did 3 months of research when I stayed in India to figure out what the hell I was doing in India for 4 extra days because I kept with a straight face. She's like, really, what'd you do? And I'm like, I went to a quantum healing theta meditation workshop. She's like, what's her name? I was like, Dr. Sangeeta Sahi.
Uh-huh.
No, seriously. Like 3 months until I was like, literally, let me do a body scan of you. Let me show you a path. Like, these are the things that I've learned. And she realized after 90 days of me telling her how serious I was. And here's a funny other thing, how you meet people where they're at.
Yes.
She said, well, if you're so enlightened, then will you watch the movie The Secret with me? Because she had asked me like forever.
Yeah.
Right?
And you were like,
I was like, yeah, sure. And then I was like criticizing it because now I was more enlightened than the mass understanding of the laws of attraction.
I think it was important for consciousness to get at that time, which is why it blew up when it did. We just had to go much further than that. It was just
and I love it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it changed my life. And I am on the Transformational Leadership Council with Jack Canfield and Bob Proctor and John Asseroff and everybody in there. They're my friends. In fact, when we went to our first TLC event, which are twice a year with all the world thought leaders, we were on the bus with Jack and his wife, right with them. And my wife looked at me and she said, it's amazing. I get teary eyed. She goes, I told you, it's amazing what you can manifest. She goes, to think that you are with these people after all the years I fought you, to think that you are here, it's amazing what you can manifest. If you pay attention to what you want and you give it your intention of doing, saying, thinking, feeling, believing, the coincidences in your life will happen. The results, the consequences, the opportunities, options, and touches of favor are guaranteed to be aligned with the attention and intention you give it.
You talk a lot about your mom.
Yeah.
And you talk a lot about your wife. Sounds like you have two amazing women that didn't give up on you.
Yeah.
Believed in you when you were going through the worst of it and somehow didn't leave you in all of that, right?
Yeah.
When you talk to them about who you are now, is it like, yeah, I always knew? Or is it like, were they holding space for you? I mean, you give so much credit to them, no doubt you see it that way, but
yeah,
what was their role behind the scenes in this?
My mom was absolute, unconditionally. She was holding space for me.
Yeah.
But she's my mom.
Yeah.
She thinks too highly of me. So there was no doubt in my mom's eyes from the day I was born that I was destined to be and live to my potential. And she knew and knows my potential. My wife had faith and hope that I could be who she thought I could be, but not certain. Not certain. You know, I always wonder if my wife had a better place to be or a different option to be in, if she came from a very wealthy family. I'm not sure she wouldn't have taken that as much as she believes in me and she stuck with me. There's a reality to everything, but I will tell you this. When I started looking for what I wanted in my marriage, that, as you know today, like I can't think, I know I would have been gone if the tables were turned. So there was faith in that, but not absolute, like my mom. Yeah. Absolutely with my mom, but in the realm of reality, I could not think of a more perfect person. And I will tell you that my wife, more than even my mom, saved my life because my wife knew everything.
Yeah.
And I remember my wife telling me,
she probably had a more
basement,
honest perception of you.
Yeah, my wife telling me in my basement, imagine if your mom knew who you really were. Oof. And I was like, whew, like, because I
That's brutal.
obviously want to live up to what my mom taught me in values and character. And so if it wasn't for my wife, I would not be here. And I know that. She stuck with me, and you don't change overnight. And I tell people all the time, I said, I might be able to make money fast. That was the easy part, to make it back. But to redeem myself in my marriage, and to have her stay and point out, hey, you're full of shit. Stop lying to yourself. Quit manipulating. Stop overselling. Stop, back end selling. All the things that are genetically and energetically. Her to keep telling me over years and years, where I still tell her, please point out to me when that comes out. I want to know instantly. I don't care who's around. Embarrass me. I want to keep on improving. Doesn't happen very often at all.
Wow. No doubt there was probably a pact before you guys dropped in here for this work. Oh, yeah. A couple rapid fire questions. We're running out of time here.
Yeah. Seraphina's going nuts.
I can tell.
It's like, I want to go home, bro.
This one's for Seraphina. What do you hold as true that is either unpopular or controversial?
Well, first of all, I believe in something bigger than me.
Yeah. That's
omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing, and loves me, protects me, and promotes me more than my mom. I also believe in past lives as well. I also believe that we're all one, regardless of religion, spirituality, theory. I believe that without a doubt.
To me, those all seem like self-evident truths, but I will give you a pass because I think you're right. That's probably controversial to some still.
Yeah, they get on me.
Yeah. Huh. Weird. Okay, couple more. What book do you recommend more than any other book?
Course in Miracles.
Oh, solid. Fire. So good. And
Not easy book. Read it every day for years.
You
and you'll
do
get
the workbook, 365 days, but ACM is awesome. The last one, if you could put a billboard downtown LA and you could put whatever you want on it, what are you putting on your billboard?
Oh, that's easy. And I get choked up because it's my mission. Be kind to your future self. ... Do good deeds.
Beautiful. This was awesome, David.
Thank you.
I appreciate
Sebastian.
your time today.
I appreciate it. What a beautiful, beautiful time. Will you do this again?
Let's do it again.
Awesome. Thank you.